Hey, my friends, thanks for tuning into our channel. It's John Bice with eXp Real Estate and the Florida for Boomers Network in Manatee and Sarasota counties here on Florida's Sun Coast. And today we're going to cover 6 home buying rules that you've heard lately that you should actually break. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to cover those. So, what's actually going on in this crazy real estate market that we're in? Well, January, February, March of 2022, a home could not stay on the market. I think our average days on the market was about 4 days. Our interest rates started to climb, and we saw this year interest rates go up to almost 8%. Well, that slowed the buying down. It eliminated a lot of buyers. Now we've slid back to about 6.75%. This is December 13th, 2022. So the number one mistake that I see buyers making is that if they see a home that they like but don't necessarily love, they believe they have to make a offer on that home immediately, maybe even at full asking price. Well, that's just not the case these days. You can take your time, do a little bit of searching. Of course, you want to find out what kind of activity has happened on that home with your real estate agent. Have them contact the other realtor and ask them if they have any offers that they've heard of that are coming in, or is it a little slow like it is in most of our market right now? So do your background research on the home. Look at the neighborhood. Make sure it's the school area if you have kids that you really want to be in, and go back and see that home a second time. And something that a lot of people don't do, sit down and relax and see yourself living in that house. Can you do that? So that's our first mistake that I see people making right now in the current market that we're in, thinking that they need to make an offer immediately as soon as they find a house that they actually like. The second mistake that we're seeing our clients think they need to make, and it's a mistake, is that they're going to have to offer over asking price for the home that they've just seen and that they really like. Well, it's just not the case anymore. That crazy market that we were in really ended in the end of March of 2022, maybe even into April a little bit, but it is long gone. Those prices are long gone. The demand for homes like it was is long gone. And as a matter of fact, our inventory levels, especially on resale homes, is up about 20%. I can tell you in areas that have new construction, the builders are now flooding the multiple listing service that we use as agents with their inventory homes. That number is probably up by 40%. It's a crazy amount of homes that have come on the market. So, what the builders are doing is they're building these, what they call spec homes. You don't have any choice on the lot, you don't have any choice on any upgrades. It's that home at this price. Do you want it? Yes or no? With the resales, we still have a much larger inventory than we had in January, February, and March. As I said, up about 20%. Our prices from the peak of the market are down up around 10 to 12% from where we were. So it's heading back towards a normal real estate market. We're still a little in favor of the sellers, but nothing like it was. It was like sellers here, buyers down here. Now it's leveling out. So just remember, you do not have to go in and offer over asking price for a home that you've found that's on the market and that you like. Another mistake that buyers are doing in this market, our interest rates are all over the place. We've seen them go from literally 2.5% all the way to 8%. in 1 year. So probably, I'd say 30 days ago, they were close to 8%. Now they've dropped back down to about 6.75, I believe we are right now. As I said, this is December of 2022. So you've gone in, you've done what you should. You've applied for a mortgage and got the pre-approval letter. So they've looked at your income, they've looked at your debt, done the numbers, debt to income ratio, and given you a number that you can afford for a house. It might be 350,000, it might be 850,000. But look at the interest rate that they're quoting you on. With the way things have jumped around, it could go either way. If they quoted you at 6.5% and interest rates suddenly go up to 7.5%, do you still qualify for that much of a home? And on the flip side of that, also, if they qualified you at 6.5% and interest rates happen to drop down to 5.5%, which I don't expect them to anytime soon, you could afford more home or have less of a payment than at 6.5%, obviously. So keep an eye on that. Do a check in with your mortgage person periodically. Just call them. Where are interest rates? Did it change? How did that affect us? Are we still good? And get them to give you that approval so you know exactly where you sit in today's mortgage real estate market. In that crazy real estate market that we were in, we were starting to see buyers waive all the contingencies that are actually put in place to protect them. They were waiving inspection contingencies. They were waiving financing contingencies. They were going out and paying costs that are almost always paid by the seller. So that is no longer, you do not have to do that. I did not recommend that during the crazy market that we were in. Waiving inspection contingencies. I mean, what kind of can of worms could that possibly open? Or coming in and offering to, if the home did not appraise, offering cash to make up the difference between the appraisal value and what you actually offered for the home. So those two things are no longer needed. Make sure that your real estate agent explains these things to you in detail. This goes for new homes too. Don't forget that you have the right to have a home inspector do inspections periodically through the construction process. Now, every builder is a little bit different, but most of them are very open to that concept of having an inspector come in and inspect the home during the drywall process, when the windows go in, flooring's put down, the roof is put on, so it protects you. So that's a very important thing to remember in this current real estate market that we are in. Another rule we see that is way outdated from the market that we were in is asking the seller for concessions. What's a concession? Well, that's asking them to contribute money, maybe towards your closing cost, or helping you with the interest rates where they are right now at 6.75%. Again, we've been up to 7.75% recently. You can ask them to contribute money towards you buying down your interest rate. It's called buying points. Now, each lender is going to be different. You might be able to buy it down 1% or 2%, but there's definitely a cost involved. So that market where you didn't ask the seller to do anything, sometimes they weren't asking for repairs, they weren't asking for anything. They were bending over backwards just to get into a home. So again, those days are gone. So if you need help with closing cost or buying down an interest rate, you can definitely ask for a concession from the seller. How does that work? Well, hopefully you have a very experienced real estate agent that can explain that to you, how that works, what you need to do. You may have to up your offer a little bit to get some money back, but it can definitely be done in this market for absolute sure. So our sixth and final mistake that we're seeing buyers do in this current real estate market is believing that they need to have 20% down to purchase a home. Now, again, every lender is different. But there are mortgages where you can put 15%, 10%, 5%, and even FHA loans out there at 3.5% down. Now, what's the difference with not putting 20% down? You may have mortgage insurance added on to the amount of your payment once you get the mortgage. So it's always called PITI. So you're paying principal, interest, taxes, and insurance are escrowed away for you, and then mortgage insurance on top of that. So if you're going in with less than 20% down, you would have mortgage insurance. But the way this market is now and the way prices are still kind of edging their way up, you may have equity after maybe 6 months to a year in your home, and you can ask your mortgage company to reevaluate it. Can you get out of having the mortgage insurance? Now, some of them have made it so it stays with the loan forever. So again, hopefully you have a good, experienced real estate agent that will help you talk to your mortgage person and ask them, if you pay down the loan a little bit and the equity goes up in the house, the value of the house is up, and then you're at that 80-20 percentage, can you get rid of the mortgage insurance? So it's definitely something to look into. But again, you don't have to put 20% down, and you actually don't have to do a 30-year mortgage. Now, most people do that, but there are 15-year mortgages out there that you can do. You can use, if you're doing new construction, you can use, even if you were thinking about paying cash, you can use the builder's mortgage company. Right now, they are offering all kinds of incentives if you'll use their mortgage company. Because what do they do with that mortgage? Eventually, and usually very quickly, they sell it off in the market to another company. So they're making money on that mortgage. But if you're a cash buyer, and let's say they're offering $5,000 towards closing costs, or maybe $15,000 towards upgrades in the house, why not use that? Make sure you have a mortgage that does not have a prepayment penalty, and sit in the house for 6 months, make mortgage payments on it, and then in 6 months or 3 months, pay it off. But you took advantage of the builder offering you maybe $10,000 in upgrades in the house. So it's just a different way to look at it. So if you have questions about these or what's going on in the market, please reach out to me. I'm here to answer questions for you. If you're enjoying these videos, hit the subscription button and then the notification bell that's next to it. If you do that, we put out videos about 2 to 3 times a week, and it's about living here on Florida's beautiful Sun Coast, Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Parrish, Venice, Nokomis, this whole area. We're giving you information to help you make a wise decision, whether you're buying or selling or investing in real estate in our area. Okay, that's it for today, and I look forward to hearing from you very, very soon.